Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel once again. I'm Tony, and today we're going to do the real review of Versace Eros Eau de Toilette. Now, when I say real review, it doesn't mean that anybody else's review is fake. No, what I mean by that is that I purchased this fragrance myself with my own money, so I'm not going to pledge no allegiance to nobody. There is no brand loyalty. I'm a real consumer just like you. There is no affiliate link so you can click, buy something and I get some commission. None of that, and most importantly, I am not trying to sell you anything. If I tell you that I like something, that means that I really like it. And if I tell you that I don't like something, that means I really don't like it. And yes, I am 100% ripping off Flossy Carter on that intro. I am in no way, and I repeat, I am in no way, shape or form claiming that I'm an expert or that I know more than anyone else in the fragrance community. I'm just gonna share my thoughts and experience with you so you can decide if you drop your hard-earned money in a bottle of perfume or not. Take my review and really anyone's review with a grain of salt. We'll have different perceptions, different skin chemistry, and of course, different taste. So let's get busy. Let's start off with one of the most important aspects when it comes to purchasing a new fragrance. The price. Now, there's really no point of telling you how much this fragrance costs right now, because if you watch this video 2, 3, 5 years from now, chances are price is going to be a little or a lot higher due to inflation. But today you can get this fragrance, the 100 milliliter bottle, for $105 US. Remember, price is always going to be subjective. There are some people who may save up for months just to get this fragrance, and there's some other people who can afford to buy 3 or 4 $300 or $500 fragrances in a single purchase on a regular basis. So it depends on each people's economy, of course. But for me, the price is right. Why am I saying that? I'll explain you throughout the video. Is it worth the price? Let's find out. Now let's continue with the notes. According to Versace's official website, again, we don't have an olfactive pyramid per se, but it mentions mint leaves, Italian lemon zest, green apple, tonka bean, ambroxan, geranium flower, vetiver, and oak moss. Remember, this is an EDT concentration, eau de toilette. You have okay quality notes in here. Some of them might be natural, some of them might be synthetic, but again, that's irrelevant. This is one of the most popular and also iconic fragrances in the designer/commercial realm. Now, what do I smell in here? Remember, this is the part of the video that is kind of subjective, because what I'm about to tell you is my perception, and of course it may vary from your perception. But what I'm smelling here is yet another sweet fragrance that has all the elements to be a mass-pleasing scent. And Versace, oh my god, they really did it. You got this citrusy opening in the first seconds of the fragrance, courtesy of the Italian bergamot, of course, which will open up the path for the mint leaves, giving the fragrance a refreshing and also slight peppery touch with some greenness. Speaking of greenness, the green apple note also comes to play, which adds a fruity touch, of course, but it also adds to the refreshness. Yes, refreshness that I told you a few seconds ago. So what you have here first is this green combo in the opening. The green, fruity, and refreshing atmosphere is set. But that was just the beginning, because a couple of minutes later, the mighty vanilla tonka bean combo will rise and give the fragrance the charms that it needs to be warm. The vanilla comes in this plasticky facet, like latex or vinyl, or imagine a brand new pair of shoes or a new set of tires. That plasticky smell you get just with the added smell of vanilla. Now, what I mean by that vanilla plasticky facet is that the vanilla doesn't smell as vivid or as natural as in some other compositions. The vanilla used here smells more sterile, or with a dry feel, if you will, without smelling artificial. But I think plasticky is a very good description of what I smell here. Now, when I really smell the fragrance in the dry down, I get a very slight bitter green note, which is brought to the table by the oak moss, which is obviously synthetic. So this is not a linear fragrance, it has some changes to it. Now, I just mentioned some of the notes in the fragrance to highlight some aspects of it. Not all the notes, of course, but that's not important because that's just my perception. Of course, you can smell different things, different facets when you wear it, because remember, each nose is a totally different world. Now, let's talk about a very important topic for a lot of people. The compliments. If you have seen any of my previous real review videos, you already know I couldn't care less about the compliments. And it's kind of weird because a lot of people buy fragrances with the sole purpose of hopefully feeling validated throughout other people's opinion. That's not my case. I'm one of those weird people that buy fragrances just to please myself, and that's it. If some other people like it, great, but I don't really care about compliments. That being said, That being said, I have received an insane amount of compliments wearing this thing, especially of course from ladies. Now performance. Let's talk about performance. But first let me tell you something. Not all atomizers were created equal. Some of them are average, just get the job done. You got those crappy ones that the bottle of perfume basically just spits when you're applying it in your skin and clothing or both without the consistent burst of perfume. You also got the famous mist atomizer, but you gotta play with them. Each kind of atomizer is not gonna eject the same amount of perfume. But this one is okay. Now the performance on this thing is average. I'm getting an average of 6 hours spraying this in both my skin and clothing. And I'm talking about 7 to 12 sprays in total. Now projection. Using that amount of sprays, you'll be projecting 2 meters from you for 5 minutes. Then you'll have it within your personal bubble, let's say your elbows reach for another hour, hour and a half, before it gradually tones down until it becomes a skin scent. That unless you kiss someone, hopefully you do in that party night, people are not gonna notice that you're wearing fragrance. Remember, not all fragrances were created with the purpose of being projecting like crazy with a longevity of 12 plus hours. There are more subtle scents which were created precisely with the purpose of being more intimate. But this one definitely stands out, especially in the first 3 hours. Now occasions. Let's recall this is one of the icons when it comes to party fragrances. Now considering what I just said about the performance, you can easily assume that this is the fragrance that you want to use when you go out to the nightclub when there is a lot of people smoking cigarettes and God knows what else, or somewhere in open spaces. Just as I said in the Jean-Paul Gaultier's Ultra Male video. This is what you call a party fragrance due to its extremely appealing and also sweet scent profile. This is not your daily driver. This is not your signature scent. This is not your 9 to 5 fragrance. Of course, this is something that I would use exclusively for parties, gatherings, on a date when you're gonna have close interaction with your significant other, when you're gonna go out to grab a cocktail, when you go to a concert, why not? Or even using it when you're fresh out of the shower before going to sleep. However, unlike most party fragrances, you could, not should, wear this all year long. Because even though this is a sweet fragrance, it has some freshness to it due to the mint, the bergamot, the green apple, and you will not be grasping for air if you use this in a spring or summer night. Gender, let's go with gender. This is marketed as a masculine fragrance, and I happen to agree this time. Maybe it is because of the oak moss makes this lean towards the masculine spectrum, even though this is a sweet fragrance. But as always, do as you please. And finally, age. This is something that was designed to be used primarily by the younger audience. Due to its playful scent profile, I would say if you're between 16 to 25 years old, you're good to go and you're gonna smell fantastic wherever you go. Now, does that mean if you're 26 and above, you have to throw away this fragrance? Absolutely not. If you like the scent, keep on rocking it. So quality, okay. Versatility, 6.5 out of 10. Performance, average. Compliments, you bet. Personally speaking, this was one of the very first fragrances that I first purchased when I was getting into this fragrance universe. That was of course a few winters ago. At first, I loved it. But now that I'm much older, this didn't age that well for my nose. I absolutely acknowledge this is a great party fragrance for the young lads, but personally, this one compared with Ultra Male, which is another iconic party fragrance, I still enjoy Ultra Male a lot. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not saying that I hate this fragrance or that I think it's bad. Quite the opposite. This is a great fragrance, not to say iconic. Believe it or not, last weekend I used it for the first time in a very long time. And guess what? I got compliments, even though I don't care about that. But I simply don't enjoy this as much as in my younger days, which is a shame, of course. But if you're a young man, chances are you're gonna love it. And also the people around you. And remember, at the end of the day, do whatever you want with your fragrance. No one, and I mean absolutely no one, is entitled to tell you what to do. This is just my opinion as I stated in the very beginning of the video. Now, if this review was useful to you, I'd feel very glad, I would feel very honored. But at the end of the day, do as you please. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, I really hope you found this video useful. So, thank you so much. Tack så mycket. Merci beaucoup. Muito obrigado. Dankeschön. Muchas gracias. Spasiba. Kiitos. Grazie mille. Arigato gozaimasu. See you in the next video.